Hello, everyone. Welcome to Options with Doug, streaming live on Monday and Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Bookmap Discord and the Bookmap YouTube channel. And just to note, this week, Monday was a holiday, so I will be streaming today and on Friday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So just an announcement again, I will be streaming on Friday this week as well as today. Before I get started, I need to go through the disclosures. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and options involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Here's my contact information. The best way to get in touch with me is through Discord. My name on Discord is Doug P. Also in Bookmap Discord, there's an Options-Doug chat channel. That's a great place to post questions, comments, and content related to the topics of my presentation and the topics of the channel that I'll go through in just a moment. Just want to let everyone know that Bookmap is encouraging everyone to join Discord. There are a lot of benefits. You can fully participate in a wide variety of chats, watch streams in Bookmap Discord. They're often Discord-only streams. You do need a Bookmap subscription to fully participate in Bookmap Discord. There is a free subscription available. Once you subscribe, you will need to verify your account. Then you can fully participate in Bookmap Discord. Here are the key tenets to my approach to trading. This is the basis of my approach to trading. I believe that options trades and market maker hedging activity are key drivers of price and many stocks and futures, certainly large cap tech stocks like the Magnificent Seven stocks, as well as the equity index futures like the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100. And for the S&P 500, SPX is the underlying index, SPY is the ETF version of that index, and the ES futures contract is a derivative of SPX. And when traders buy and sell puts and calls in SPX and SPY, market makers take the opposite side of those trades and they hedge their delta exposure with ES futures. And for the NASDAQ 100, NDX is the underlying index, QQQ is the much more liquid ETF version of that index, and the NQ futures contract is a derivative of NDX. And when traders buy and sell puts and calls in NDX and QQQ, market makers take the opposite side of those trades and they hedge their delta exposure with NQ futures. The focus of my presentation today and the focus of the Options-Doug chat channel is options order flow, the impact of options markets on stocks and futures, and the influence of market maker hedging flow on price action. I have a two-step process for trading, and the first is planning, and I use positional analysis. I look at how traders and market makers are positioned in the options market and how those positions change from day to day to develop a thesis regarding the expected trading range and volatility for the day as well as a directional bias. And I'll go over that today for the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100. And the second step in my process is execution. I'll look at real-time order flow in Bookmap and real-time market maker hedging flow in Spotgamma Hero to confirm my thesis and for setups. And when I talk about setups today, I will be focusing on an underlying asset. Setups in that asset can be taken with futures contracts, shares of stock, or options, depending on the asset as well as the way you like to trade. And I'll be going over that step in my process as well today. Questions and comments are welcome, and I will be watching both the Options-Doug chat channel as well as the chat and YouTube for your questions and comments. Please feel free to post. I'll do my best to answer your questions. Hello, Stephen. Welcome. Glad you're here. Here's my agenda for today, Wednesday, January 22nd. First of all, I want to go over news items, economic data, and events for the week. Then I'll go through my positional analysis. Then I'll review some setups earlier today. Finally, I'll take a look at the live market. If anyone has any stocks they want me to take a look at, please let me know and I'll be glad to do that. All right, let's start with economic data, news events. A very light week today. Today was VIX expiration. Then on Friday, there are a few data releases, mostly low impact. or medium impact. 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time, S&P Global PMI comes out. Usually not as much of a market mover as the ISM PMI data. Then at 10 a.m., Michigan Consumer Sentiment and existing home sales. So that is data for this week, a very light week as far as data and economic events go. All right, so let's move on to positional analysis. I'm going to start with the SP 500. So let's go to Bookmap, go to the ES Futures and Bookmap. And before I take a closer look at this chart, I'm going to step back, take a look at a larger time frame. I'm going to go to the SPX, the underlying index. This is a 1 year, 1 day chart for SPX. There was a rally, was under pressure for a couple of weeks, now has resumed, it looks like approaching all-time highs. All right, so that is a 1 day, 1 year chart in Thinkorswim for SPX, again, the underlying index. Let's take a look now at a closer time frame. Let's go to a 30-day, 1 hour chart. Let me point out a couple of key events here. First of all, this is the reaction to the December FOMC meeting and press conference. SPX found support right around 58.32. Resistance at this downtrend line. Again, support at 58.32. More resistance at the downtrend line. And then a final shakeout down to 57.73. And then a strong rally up. Last Friday, SPX broke up above that downtrend line and has rallied strongly since then on Tuesday and Wednesday. Excuse me. All right, so that's where the SPX stands now, right around 60, just below 6,100. That was the call wall yesterday. The call wall did move down a little bit today. We'll talk about that in just a couple of minutes, why it moved down. All right, so let's take a look at the levels on this chart. First of all, the dashed purple lines are showing the lower and upper weekly expected move. Now, the daily expected move is right on top of the weekly expected move, so you really can't see that purple dashed line, but it's right there. So SPX is trading up above the upper weekly expected move. Again, that's based on the options market, based on the closing price for SPX from last Friday. Those levels remain in place for the entire week. Then the lower and upper daily expected move are shown by the dashed blue lines. Again, the daily expected move right on top of the weekly expected move. SPX trading above that level as well, again, based on the options market, based on the closing price for SPX from yesterday. Note, I do post those levels in Discord every day the evening before. All right, the dark red lines are showing Spotgamma levels. These are based on gamma-weighted open interest. They're provided to Spotgamma subscribers on a variety of trading platforms. Again, this is Thinkorswim. I'm going to point out the key daily levels. First of all, the put wall is at 60.15. That's a strike with a large net negative gamma that can be expected to act as support. That level did move up from yesterday. And just above that is the volatility trigger at 60.20. That is Spotgamma's proprietary volatility and gamma flip level. Below that level, market makers' position on the gamma curve is negative. In a negative gamma environment, market makers have to trade with price to hedge their delta exposure. That tends to enhance or increase volatility. Above that level, like SPX is trading now, market makers' position on the gamma curve is positive. In a positive gamma environment, market makers have to trade against price to hedge their delta exposure. That tends to subdue or decrease volatility. So in a negative gamma environment, we're looking for more trend days, larger movement, and then positive gamma looking for more range days, slower movement, more narrow trading range, and perhaps mean reverting price action. And then the call wall, again, I missed the absolute gamma strike. That's the lowest level at 6,000. That's the strike with the largest absolute positive and negative gamma. So where most of the gamma weighted open interest is concentrated. Quite unusual for the put wall to be above the absolute gamma strike. And then finally, again, the call wall at 6,075. We'll talk about what is driving that level in just a couple of minutes. So the call wall is a strike with largest net positive gamma that can be expected to act as resistance. And again, SPX trading above that level, as well as the upper daily and weekly expected moves. All right, let's wrap up our view of SPX with a 1-minute chart. I'll zoom in on this in just a second. This is showing the rally that began last week. This was the gap up after the CPI data came out Wednesday morning. Rally has pretty much continued up now to right around 6,100. All right, let's zoom in on this now. So actually, just before I do that, I'll zoom in here. A couple of days worth of data so we can see the levels below. There's the absolute gamma strike, 6,000. Put wall, 6,015. And volatility triggered just above that at 6,020. Finally, the call wall, 6,075. And the daily expected move and the weekly expected move just above that. So today, SPX has found resistance at 6,100. So pretty narrow range today, again, positive gamma environment. All right, back to Bookmap now. Actually, let's take a look at the SPY chart. And I believe, so SPY, this is the SPY chart. Earlier today, the 607 levels was resistance. SPY found support at the VWAP, that light blue line. Now resistance at this combo level, which is right around the SPX 6100 level. And now 607 acting as support. So resistance earlier, now support. All right, now to Bookmap. So in Bookmap, I use the price lines add-on to show these levels, SPY levels, SPX levels, and key ES levels. So there's that SPY 607 level that acted as resistance, then support. Now this cluster of levels up above acting as resistance. That's the 6100 level, SPX 6100, and that SPY combo level, and then an SPX combo 1 level just below that. Note there is a difference in price between ES and SPX. And today it has ranged from 34 to 36. I'm using 35. So I'm showing SPX 6100 that was level noted as resistance in the Spotgamma AM Founders Note. SPX 6100. I'm showing that at ES 6135. So that ES to minus SPX offset is somewhere between 35 and 36 right now. I'm using 35, maybe closer to 36 right now. Earlier today it was right around 35. and we'll see what has been acting as resistance in just a couple minutes. All right, so those are the levels in play for today. Let me just zoom out just a little bit to show this. Before the cash open, there's that 60.75 call wall. This is before the cash open, acting as support. And we'll talk about setups in just a few minutes. All right, shifts and levels. For SPX, again, the volatility trigger put wall shifted higher, call wall lower. And for SPY, the volatility trigger and call wall shifted higher. All right, on to NASDAQ now. This is the NQ futures and Bookmap. Strong rally in NASDAQ today. Let's take a look at the underlying index chart so we can isolate the levels. First of all, for QQQ. And for both QQQ and NDX, volatility trigger shifted higher, and that's it. There were no other shifts higher in levels. So for QQQ, here is the 530 call wall, absolute gamma strike, acting as support just after the cash open. And I believe that 530 12 combo level may be the highest Spotgamma level for QQQ. All right, let's take a look at NDX. So we know the 530 level was support just after the cash open. Let's take a look at NDX. Zoom in just a bit. And I'm going to show a couple days so we can show the levels below. And this 782 combo level acted as support. That's right around the QQQ 530 level. Acted as support. All the other levels are below. Call wall, volatility trigger down below. All right, back to Bookmap. So there's that cluster of levels. The 530 absolute gamma strike call wall, as well as the 21,782 combo 1 level, acting as support just after the cash open. And again, we'll talk about setups in just a few minutes. All right, so that's NASDAQ. Let's wrap up our positional analysis by taking a look at Gamma. I'm going to start with Gamma notional at the beginning of the day. This is market maker's position on the Gamma curve at the beginning of the day. For the S&P 500, NASDAQ, and Russell 2000. Note all these numbers are positive. Again, in a positive gamma environment, this indicates for an index that traders are short calls, market makers are long calls, hence the positive gamma. They have to trade against price to edge their delta exposure. And I would say this is mildly positive gamma. For the S&P 500, gamma notional did shift higher from yesterday. For the NASDAQ, shifted lower, still positive. And for the Russell 2000, shifted higher. But all positive, neutral or slightly positive. All right, let's take a look at a current view of gamma. This is the trace tool from Spotgamma, available to alpha subscribers. And the blue areas, the blue zones, are positive gamma. Red zones are negative gamma. So this is showing that SPX right now is in a pocket of positive gamma with pockets of negative gamma above and below. So moving a little bit more slowly in this pocket of positive gamma. And if there's a drop lower, then I would expect the SP 500 and SPX ES to move faster through this negative gamma back down to the call wall at 6,075. And speaking of the call wall, that's right here, 6075. This is the short call vertical. Spotgamma calls this trader, this fund, Captain Condor. And this is the call side of this. So a trader or a large fund is short a call spread here. So they're short 60.75, long 60.80. Market makers have the opposite side of those trades, that position. So market makers here are long calls and short calls at 60.80. So essentially they have a bullish call spread here. So this is working in market makers' favor. If you look at it that way from a just a delta point of view. And Stephen asked, do you think ES can make it to 6150 by the end of the day? I'm going to front run that level, of course, but curious on what you see on the Spotgamma. I'll take a look at that. 6150 certainly looks like a long shot. We can go ahead and take a look at, actually I'm going to need to zoom out just a little bit more. I'd say 6150 is a long shot. Let's take a quick look at charm pressure. So there is a possibility we can take a look at an options chain and Thinkorswim. And my guess is the 6150 strike for today is probably certainly less than a delta of 10. We'll take a look at that in just a minute. So SPX, to get up to 6150 today, would have to make it through this positive gamma, shoot pretty quickly through the negative gamma up above. Let's go back to gamma, and then make it all the way up to 6150. All right, so that's the picture of gamma. Based on this, and let's take a quick look at the stability index. That was lower today. Still looking for moderate volatility. And right now, SPX working in this positive gamma environment. All right, so based on this, again, I was looking for moderate volatility. My thesis for the day was bullish based on some earnings and macro events, Netflix earnings, as well as the reaction to the Stargate AI project. A lot of AI stocks have been strong recently, yesterday and today. All right, so let's move on now. Let's take a look at some setups. And I'm going to start with the SP 500. And as always, I'm going to start by taking a look at what options traders have been doing today. Oh boy, welcome, glad you're here. Ask, SPX open trading and holding above the call wall at 6,075. Would you expect it to go under it today? Not necessarily. It is kind of an artificial call wall, I think, due to that strike. Due to this condor strike. So if there's no, and you can see right now the positive gamma here at 6,100, maybe a little bit stronger than 60.75 now. So as far as I can tell, this is kind of an artificial call wall based on this short-term 0 DTE iron condor. All right, back to S&P 500 now. So as always, I'm going to start by taking a look at what options traders are doing. I'm going to go to full screen here. And there are two signals that we can take a look at for the S&P 500. This is the index signal showing options trades and market maker hedging activity for the index components, SPX, SPY, ES, and XSP. Orange line is calls. Rising orange line indicates traders are buying calls. Blue line is puts. And a falling blue line indicates traders are buying puts. So that's the index. This is the equity signal, I think providing a much more clear signal today. This is showing options trades and market maker hedging activity for the S&P 500 stocks, all 500 stocks in the S&P 500. Again, rising orange line indicates traders are buying calls. Market makers sell the calls, and they have to buy stocks to hedge their delta exposure. And they're also buying puts, but the call buyers are definitely driving price today. So let's take a look at this in terms of hero chart patterns. So first of all, this is an opening drive driven by call buyers. Full alert signal that came in just about 5 minutes after the cash opened. Get your attention. Strong opening drive, traders buying calls. Price moves higher. They start to slow down right around 10 a.m. Take the foot off the gas. And that was where the resistance, first resistance level at SPY 607. That was right around 10:15 to maybe 11:15, something like that. Then traders resumed buying calls. Price moved up to the 6100 level. Strong opening drive. Call buyers slow down. Foot off the gas, a little call exhaustion. Call buyers come back in for the second leg of this rally. First leg, second leg. Then again, call exhaustion, foot off the gas, and now price consolidates, finds resistance at 6,100 and can't get above that level. So Stephen, given the time of the day and what options traders are doing, I think 6150 is certainly a stretch today, maybe tomorrow. All right, so let's take a look at Bookmap now. Go back to ES. Tone down the volume dots just a little bit. So we'll take a look at order flow here. So we've got the first leg, opening drive, resistance at 607. Second leg comes in, now resistance at 6,100. So let's take a look at this first leg higher. The volume dots in Bookmap show market buy minus sell. Magenta dots indicate more sellers than buyers. Sellers are exhausted. Small magenta volume dot. Green volume dots indicate more buyers than sellers. Aggressive buyers start to come in. Dark blue line is showing rising cumulative volume delta. That levels off. Then moves back up again for the second leg higher. Turn break. Aggressive buyers start to come in. Price moves higher up to the second level of resistance at 6,100. Yellow line is showing stop orders. Buy stop orders help to fuel that first move higher. That line levels off. Then buy stop orders help to fuel the second move higher, and that also levels off. So now, after about noon, both the cumulative volume delta and the stop orders have either leveled off or are moving down. Note also large traders have been fading this move with iceberg orders they use to hide their size. That's shown by the light blue line. All right, so two legs to the rally driven by call buyers as well as aggressive buyers NES and also buy stop orders. All right, that's the S&P 500. Let's take a look at NASDAQ. Any questions about the S&P 500? All right, let's take a look at NASDAQ. Let's go back. And let's go to the hero signal again. All right, for the NASDAQ, so this is the all 500 stocks in the S&P 500. That's the equity signal for the S&P 500. I'm going to go to the equivalent signal for the NASDAQ. That's the Mag 7. And the S&P 500 equities is essentially Mag 7 plus 493. So this is very similar. Strong opening drive. Call buyers. Slow down a little bit. Second leg. And again, call exhaustion, take the foot off the gas, and price consolidates. All right, so two-leg pattern higher, just like the S&P 500. And let's go to Bookmap. Strong opening drive. Actually, let me zoom in on this. Quick move higher right after the cash open. A lot of aggressive buyers, green volume dots, pull back to this cluster of levels that I mentioned before, the QQQ 530 absolute gamma strike call wall on that 21,782 combo 1 level, just below that. First leg higher. Call buyer slow down. Then there's the second leg higher. And now in the second leg higher, it's pretty clear that aggressive buyers as well as buy stop orders were fueling that move higher, shown by the rising dark blue and yellow lines. All right, so that's NASDAQ. Driven by call buyers in the Mag 7 stocks. All right, so let's take a look at some of the Mag 7 stocks now. I'm going to start with Amazon. You can see right away there's a very strong opening drive. A little bit of chop just after the open. Amazon breaks above the 232 level and also VWAP, that light blue line. Shoots straight up to 235. And we'll see what the options traders are doing in just a minute. Cumulative volume delta rising, and you can just see that's all green volume dots, and then slows down. All right, so nice curl up here in the morning. Curling up above the VWAP, up to the high liquidity at 232. 234, and especially the final target at 235. Those are limit sell orders in the order book. Pretty typical for stocks. They come in at the cash open and they stay in there until they're filled. Let's see what options traders are doing. So let's go to Amazon. So remember the pattern in the S&P 500: equities, Mag 7, strong opening drive, then call exhaustion. Pretty much the same pattern here, except the call line was a little bit more choppy. Flow alert comes in just after the cash open. Get your attention, signals significant options activity. A little bit of chop, price curls up, traders buy calls, and as price approaches that 235 call wall, call buyers take the foot off the gas and price consolidates. All right, so one of the keys here was this 235 call wall doing its job, acting as resistance. All right, so that's Amazon. Again, same pattern, strong opening drive driven by call buyers. Call buyers take the foot off the gas, and in this case, you have the additional benefit of seeing them at a resistance level, the 235 call wall. All right, next stock, Meta. Another curl up here. Above VWAP, rising cumulative volume delta. Price targets here at the 625, 626 level, and 630. And the buyers could not push price up in this first strong opening drive, first leg, could not push it above 630. And in the second leg, they make it above 630. Let's see what options traders are doing. Go to Meta. Let's zoom in on this just a little bit. Note 620 is the key gamma strike. Looks like price opened right around that level. Initially, traders are buying calls. Flow alert comes in. And they quickly take the foot off the gas. Then they start buying calls again as and Meta moves higher. So there's that. There's that curl up. Price breaks above VWAP as traders start buying calls. First leg, foot off the gas, call exhaustion. Second leg, traders resume buying calls. And then again, they finally take the foot off the gas right around 12:10. Start selling a few calls. That marks the high of the day so far. So that fuel that had been driving price higher was used up. No more call buyers, and price starts to move lower. Let's go back to Bookmap. So 12:10, that's when the finer call buyers left the building. Stopped buying calls, started selling a few calls, and price moves lower. So the fuel is gone. Call buyers put off the gas, and Meta is moving lower. All right, next stock, Microsoft. A little bit stronger pattern here today. Another curl up above VWAP, a little bit of consolidation right after the open. Microsoft made some nice pullbacks in this uptrend, confirmed by the market pulse price change indicator. To the target at 445. Nice steady uptrend. All right, let's see what options traders are doing. Back to Hero, Microsoft. Flow alert just right after the cash open. Very strong opening drive. Consolidation. Call buyers. More consolidation. Call buyers and have finally taken the foot off the gas right around 12:15. Now Microsoft consolidating but not dropping lower like Meta. So it looks like for Microsoft, they were actually 3 legs higher today before the call buyers just, finally left the building. At least for now. So that's Microsoft. Again, high liquidity targets, primarily for a stock with the price of Microsoft at the zeros and the fives. High liquidity limit sell orders acting as a magnet for price. And Microsoft continues to consolidate right around 445. All right, next stock, NVIDIA. Look at all the green volume dots, aggressive buyers. Still trying to move NVIDIA higher. Another curl above VWAP. Long entries at VWAP. All right, one thing to note here is the movement, the range for Microsoft, NVIDIA today is around 3 points. Remember that when we take a look at IonQ. All right, so the range for NVIDIA today, a stock that's currently trading around 147, 3-point range today. All right, let's see what options traders are doing. So we know that aggressive buyers are trying to move NVIDIA higher. Again, you can see the green volume dots consistently rising, cumulative volume delta shown by that dark blue line. Let's check Hero, see what options traders are doing. Go to NVIDIA. Very strong opening drive. Couple of flow alerts. And price grinding higher as the call buyers. They're still here, but not as aggressive. So you can see Hero is making a series of higher highs, but not moving with nearly the same velocity as this morning, up until about 9:50, 55. All right, so that's NVIDIA. Let's take a look at Tesla. Choppy day in Tesla today. We'll see a very nice call peak pattern just after the open. So let's go take a look and see what options traders are doing in Tesla. Zoom in on this. All right, so again, we're going to focus on the patterns here today. First of all, this is a call peak. Strong move up in the calls. Call buyers suddenly switch from buying calls to selling calls. Very timely flow alert. Get your attention, signals significant options activity, and a pending reversal in the hedging flow, which is exactly what happened. Traders stopped buying calls, started selling calls. Call peak pattern, very reliable, bearish reversal, and then a continuation pattern where traders are selling calls and buying puts, and price moves lower. This is pretty typical for Tesla, with these peaks and valleys and continuation patterns. So zooming out, call peak, continuation pattern, then a valley, put valley, bullish continuation, another call peak. Then the put traders have really did not do anything from right around 10:30 to maybe 1:30, and starting right around just after 1, maybe 1:15, they started buying puts, selling calls. So a bearish continuation pattern. And let's go back to Bookmap. Let's zoom in on this. So there's that call peak pattern. Very sharp reversal in price. You can see cumulative volume delta starts to drop right around 9:35, just 5 minutes after the cash open. Aggressive sellers start to come in. Tesla makes a series of lower highs. And then options traders take the foot off the gas, makes a V pattern. Call buyers, put sellers come back in. Price moves higher. But a very distinct call peak pattern, very good short setup in Tesla today. All right, last stock I want to take a look at is IonQ. Quantum computing stock. I've been watching this for the last couple of days. There have been some nice setups, both last two that I posted in Discord yesterday and on Friday were both bullish setups from the 40 key gamma strike. And yesterday, IonQ moved from 40 up to 45, the call wall. So today, the key gamma strike has moved up to 45. So 45 is the call wall key gamma strike, acting as resistance today, and price move lower, makes a series of lower highs in the first half hour, and then moves lower. Let's see what options traders are doing. And note, remember, I talked about NVIDIA, $147 stock, moving 3 points today. This is a 4-point move, or actually I should draw the arrow this way. 4-point move down in a $40 stock. Yesterday, IonQ moved 10% higher. Today, 10% lower. All right, let's see what options traders are doing. Go back to Hero. Go to IonQ. So of course the options market in a stock like this is very small compared to Nvidia and Tesla and most of the other Mag 7 stocks. But it is helping to drive price. Here you can see price chops around up until about 10 o'clock, finding resistance at the call wall. Then the call sellers start to come in. Price starts to move lower. A few minutes later, traders start buying puts. Blue line, orange line moving in the same direction, and that is the continuation pattern. So resistance at the 45 call wall, key gamma strike, and then a continuation, bearish continuation pattern. And then right around 11:15, the put buyers took their foot off the gas. And then around noon, the call sellers took their foot off the gas. And now IonQ consolidating right around 41. So nice 10% move lower in IonQ, and pretty clearly signaled with the call wall resistance at that level, as well as call sellers and put buyers. All right, let's go back to the S&P 500. And Stephen, I did misinterpret your question. You're asking about ES 6150 instead of SPX. I was thinking SPX 6150. Looks like ES 6150. All right, so let's take a look at that. All right, so that would be right around SPX 6115, also SPY 609. So let's start by taking a look at an options chain. So we're going to see, take a look at the chance of ES getting up to 6150 today. So let's go to an options chain. Go to the 0 DTE 6115. All right, so the delta of that 6115 strike looking at the call side, the delta is right around 3. So that means there is around a 3% chance of that option expiring in the money. And that's around the ES 6150. There's also around a 6% chance of touching that level. So pretty low. Let's go back and take a look at Trace. So we'll be looking at 6115. Let's go to charm pressure. All right, so this is showing the most likely charm pin right around 6100. And that's right around this positive gamma right here. It's still slightly larger than the 6075 level. All right, so the charm pin showing most likely level at 6100. Let's take a look at delta pressure. and delta pressure showing the red zone selling pressure above, and that would be above of right around 6,100. That's when the selling pressure would come in. All right, back to gamma. All right, let's take a look. Let's go back to Hero now. Let's take a first look at the index signal. Calls are flat. SP equities. Calls are flat also. Back to Bookmap. Zoom in a bit. So it's certainly possible to make it back up to that 6,100 level, but above that, I think would be a stretch, given the time of day and the energy in the markets. Anyone have any questions? Questions, comments, any stocks you want me to take a look at? All right, just a reminder, I will be streaming on Friday this week. Due to the holiday on Monday, I will be streaming on Friday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Usual channels, Bookmap Discord, and the Bookmap YouTube channel. Let's go back to Hero. I'm going to get out of let's open the sidebar, check for alerts. Flow alert in Google. Very nice call peak pattern in Google here. Call peak topping, in this case reversal pattern. Traders start selling calls. That's at 12:30. Let's go take a look at Google. Note also that was right around the 200 call wall. Very nice short setup in Google there. 200 call wall, call peak pattern, 12:30. Pullback entries, price breaks below VWAP, pullback at 199. All right, let's go back to Hero, see if we see anything else. SPY, this was at 2:23, 5 minutes ago. Could be a call peak pattern. Back to the index signal, still calls doing nothing. Let's go back to full screen. Equities. Mag 7. Pretty quiet afternoon. Quick look at Tesla. Back down near lows of the day. One last look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ making a series of lower highs. Trying to break below the 532 level. All right, everyone. Remember, I will be streaming on Friday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, on Bookmap Discord and the Bookmap YouTube channel. Thank you very much for watching today, and I will see you on Friday. Thanks again. Bye.